1997, and Tommy Makinen takes his and Mitsubishi's first victory on an all-tarmac rally. His win on the Rally Catalunya in Spain gave Tommy a healthy lead in this year's World Series, 12 points Makinen's cushion. 3 weeks later, and round 6 of the FIA World Rally Championship was another asphalt event. On this occasion, held on the Mediterranean island of Corsica, with its narrow, twisty mountain roads. 1997 was the 41st running of the Tour de Corse. Based in the island's capital, Ajaccio, the 3-day event included over 200 kilometres of new stages. Even the World Championship old-timers would be tackling them for the first time.
How good a feeling, though, was it, Tommy, to have actually won your first tarmac event?
It was really something. It was an unbelievable feeling, and of course it gives very good confidence for this event.
Get the feeling the drivers aren't too happy about Corsica this year.
Well, it has been a long recce for us. That's the main thing in 5 days, and I think the route needs to be redesigned a little bit.
The new stages they've picked are terrible. One stage is very bumpy and dangerous. A lot of the other stages are very dirty, so it's not really a very nice tarmac event to drive on.
This event I've been just once before, 2 years ago. I spoke with Carlos, and he said even for him, he's been last 10 years here, and there's 220 kilometers new for him, and so I think then we are a bit more equal at the moment.
Do you think you can win here?
It's going to be very difficult.
Tommy's got a bit of a lead, so if we could win here it would half the points margin, which is what we want to try and do.
A lot of good experienced driver in this condition, and it's going to be very difficult.
Day one began in brilliant sunshine. As championship leaders, Makinen and his co-driver Seppo Harjana led the crews away from the start ramp. Ahead of them, 18 stages covering over 400 kilometres. Unlike previous rallies, this year's Tour de Corse would return to Ajaccio each night. The first leg, 6 stages, were all in the mountains south of the town. Unlike Catalunia's silky smooth roads, Corsican tarmac is much rougher, which meant that Makinen's win in Spain was no indication of how things might go here. His prediction that the rally would be difficult was proved correct on the very first stage. He could only manage 6th fastest, and 14 seconds were lost. Fastest on that stage was the Subaru of Colin McRae. He and Nicky Grist held the narrowest of leads, 1 second.
And 6 left and 3 right line, into left and 6 right. Into right tightens the 3 right minus, opens. Into left and 5 right, opens and tightens, and slow 3 left, tightens.
For Carlos Sainz, there was new optimism. Extensive testing meant that the Ford team had improved the car's performance, and Sainz was a changed man.
Abrirse, derecha rápido, ojo le diera poco, para izquierda rápido menos corta, abrirse, izquierda buena más ojo, poco tarde de tierra. Para derecha casi abre por dentro fin.
The second of the 2 Subarus was driven by Italy's Piero Liati. The winner of the first round of the championship, the Monte Carlo rally, set the 4th fastest time on stage 1. Mitsubishi's second driver was Uwe Nittel from Germany. A disappointing year so far meant that Nittel was hungry for a good result in Corsica. But, just as in Catalunya, the talking point of the rally was the Peugeot team. The Formula 2 cars don't have the weight or performance penalties of the championship regulars, and it showed. After stage 2, the rally lead had changed hands. Gilles Panizzi now led. Francois Delacour was second, 6 seconds behind his teammate. This was familiar territory. A Peugeot 1-2 was something we'd seen before.
These little F2s are doing well again. What do you make of it all?
Well, I think it was sort of expected. You know, we've seen how well they've been going in the French Championship, and I think in conditions like this, on twisty roads like we have in Corsica, you know, we did think that they would be right there with us.
We need to have a lighter car or a far wider tyre and more horsepower.
Colin McRae in particular was saying it makes it unfair for the WRC cars because the way they are, the regulations that they have mean they can't compete with you.
I don't agree with him. It's too easy.
I think somebody has to rethink in the regulations, in my opinion. That's not, they are not doing the whole championship, so it's...
Regulations a big problem for you at the moment?
No, for me no. It's for Ford, Subaru, Mitsubishi, for all the World Rally cars, not for Carlos Sainz. For me, it's not a problem.
We shouldn't have a car that's designed for a national championship putting up fastest times and probably winning a round of the World Championship.
If you're in France and you're designing a car to win your local events, then you might design what they've done. But if you want to go right round the world, you want to win Safari, you want to win the RAC in Great Britain, you want to go to the snow in Sweden, you build one of these cars.
In Corsica, the Ford team had a new recruit. Philip Mills had been brought in for this one event to replace Armin Schwartz's co-driver Denis Giraudet, who's moved to Toyota. Mills, who's usually to be found competing in the British Championship, had little time to settle into his new job.
I'm quite surprised it was all done at fairly short notice, as most of you know. I think I had 4 days of the initial phone call, and I did the Pirelli International in England as well, so I had something like 10 hours to get from the finish of the Pirelli International to the start of the recce here, so it's been quite tough.
Phil is doing a good job here. We had 5 days to settle in and really to get the things together. Now I think it's necessary and that we are getting quickly in gear and rally speed and that everything works fine.
Are you nervous?
I'd be a liar if I said no, wouldn't I?
Nervous or not, Mills and Schwartz weren't destined to have the best of days. They would lose 6th gear during the morning and ended it in 7th place. Whether or not nerves played a part, there was also an element of Schwartz being a little too keen to make up for lost time.
14. Right, 3 to 4 minus into left 3 tight.
Nittel too was guilty of over-enthusiasm. In his case though, Corsica bit back. Schwartz and Mills also paid the scenery a visit when they broke a prop shaft.
3 to 4 minus. Okay.
The damage to the front of the car and the prop shaft could be fixed at service, but the incident meant that they finished the day in 8th place. The morning's sunshine had given way to cloud and rain showers as the day wore on, making tyre choice difficult. Piero Liati, co-driven by Fabrizio Pons, ended the day in 5th place, 10 seconds behind their Subaru teammates Colin McRae and Nicky Grist.
And 3 left minus, 30, turn, long 2 left minus, don't cut. Into 3 right plus line, and 3 left minus.
Despite setting 3 fastest stage times, Carlos Sainz and Luis Moya were 3rd at the end of leg 1. A bent suspension strut on the first stage had been their only problem though, and the Spaniards were happy men. Even happier were the Peugeot team. Francois Delacour and Daniel Grataloup were in 2nd place after the rally's first leg. The Peugeot domination of the rally, as many had feared, had become a reality. Gilles Panizzi, co-driven by his brother Hervé, led their teammates by 6 seconds. It had been a superb performance by both drivers. The complaints from the World Championship teams about the advantages enjoyed by the two-wheel drive cars seemed to be falling on deaf ears.
In any case, they are complaining all the time. It's not my problem. Tomorrow I have to do my job and to do the best. And for sure, if it's raining tomorrow, it will be a big surprise for many, many people.
If it rains, I think there'll be a big difference. But to make that much of a difference, we need very heavy rain. If it's just like today, then obviously the Formula 2 cars will be faster.
So there'll be some McRae rain dancing in the hotel tonight?
It's a difficult situation because the worst thing to drive on is wet tarmac. I mean, it's not enjoyable at all and very easy to make a mistake. So for me personally, I would rather it was just cool and a bit like it is tonight, and then at least we wouldn't have a problem with tyre wear.
6 stages gone and 32 seconds were all that separated the top 5. Tommy Makinen was only another 6 seconds behind Liati. The second day and tyre choice was again critical. Leg 2 began with the longest stage of the entire rally and the skies threatened rain. Worried discussions were held between drivers, team managers and tyre technicians. A wrong choice for the stage could prove costly. No wonder there was intense interest in what the others chose.
We have different choice. For example, on the Peugeot, they have one car on the slick tires and the other one on the rain tires. Carlos live on the rain tires and the other, I think they will live on the dry tires.
At the start of stage 7, the skies and the notice board said it all. While the crews drove between the service area and the stage start, the heavens had opened. If, like the Subarus, you weren't on rain tyres, you could forget setting a quick time in these conditions. Unfortunately for Panizzi, his car was the Peugeot on dry tyres. It had been a brave gamble which hadn't paid off. He lost nearly a second on every kilometre of the stage, 46 seconds lost in all. For Francois Delacour, the stage was a completely different story. Rain tyres meant he had plenty of grip in the treacherous conditions. Second fastest time on the stage meant that he inherited the rally lead from Panizzi. But the fastest time was set by Sainz. Again, rain tyres meant a sure-footed path through the crucial 7th stage. For McRae, the stage was disastrous. The choice of dry tyres on the soaking wet road meant that 45 seconds were lost. He was lucky, though, to escape one potentially fatal encounter around a third of the way through the stage.
70 Kev, 6 right minus, tightens, cuts and 5 left plus.
The 49-kilometre 7th stage saw Panizzi drop from first to third, while both Delacour and Sainz moved up a place as a result. After his close encounter with the cows, McRae was lucky to still be in 4th place. Tommy Makinen had seen a chance to leapfrog past the two Subarus. Like Sainz, he was on wet tyres, and a third of the way through the stage he was 10 seconds faster than Carlos. But, unlike McRae, when Tommy reached the cows, he wasn't so lucky. Makinen had been in 6th gear, travelling at around 160 kilometres an hour when he hit the cow, bouncing off a rock face and plunging 40 metres into a ravine. Amazingly, neither he nor Seppo Harjanne were injured, but the car was destroyed in the accident. Recovering it gave the Mitsubishi team management a few headaches, though, and eventually a crane had to be brought in to winch it back onto the road. Close up, the damage to the Lancer is clear, yet the cabin is relatively untouched, evidence of how strong modern rally cars are. As the car was being recovered, Makinen was already back in Ajaccio, having had time to reflect on one of the biggest accidents to befall any of the crews for years. The car looks to be destroyed. Are you and Seppo okay?
Luckily it was quite good luck. Car is completely destroyed, except cabin is in good condition, not any bigger damage, and fuel tank also is all right. Everything else is completely destroyed.
Corsica's beauty disguises some of the most treacherous stages in the world. Even before the rally started, Kenneth Eriksson had destroyed this Subaru Impreza while tyre testing, invoking painful memories of 1986, when Henry Toivonen and Sergio Cresto were killed.
Well, there's no question that that was a turning point. Immediately in reaction to that accident, there was a change of regulations at the end of that season. That was the end of the era of Group B cars. From that date, they got safer and safer, but over the years, there's been a constant pressure to try and increase safety. The standards that we apply have gone higher and higher, and we've learnt more and more, and safety information is something that all the teams share. It's not, nobody keeps secret the information of what they've learnt from crashes and so on. This car's got a lot of features on it that are not required by the regulations that that detract from its performance, but we feel are justified. It's got a lot of extra side impact protection compared to what's required by the regulations. The roll cage is well beyond the minimum required in terms of the FIA regulations and so on. So yeah, we do try quite hard, but that we can always learn, and maybe something like this is good to just refocus us from time to time that maybe we could do a little bit more.
Makinen wasn't the only driver to fall victim to stage 7.
Left 3 to 4 minus.
How far is it to go?
It's 17k.
Armin Schwartz's accident didn't look that serious, yet just 200 metres further on, the left rear wheel fell off. Schwartz's frustration is clear.
I can't believe it, I can't believe it.
Incredibly, driving like this for nearly 17 kilometres only cost Schwartz 3 minutes, despite the fact that at times the car was almost uncontrollable.
30.
Mixed emotions were very much in evidence at the next service area. Peugeot's Francois Delacour now led the rally after the rain-dominated 7th stage. The team management seemed more pleased at his performance than he did. Over at Ford, Schwartz's sorry-looking Escort arrived on 3 wheels. His mechanics now had just 20 minutes to restore the car to its more usual appearance.
What happened?
Yeah, it's quite easy to tell. We hit a bridge, another
You
bridge.
hit a bridge?
Yeah, we hit a bridge and lost the wheel.
At Subaru, the talk was still of tyres and rain.
I check in 1 minute 20. 1 minute. So, come on, if you want to, then.
Yeah, we can still do it.
Go on, change it now.
A rare moment of indecision hinted at the continuing importance of tyre choice.
So who's gone out on what?
Colin's gone on the what is effectively a dry weather tyre, and Pierre's gone out on what is an intermediate tyre for damp, humid conditions.
What is the decision, Carlos?
Well, we go for a dry tire, medium compound, which it's a lottery because you don't know what is in 2 hours.
But you are now quicker on the stages than Francois Delacour?
We will see.
The threat of rain hung over the remainder of the second leg, but the weather had played its part. There would be no more unpleasant surprises. Beside the Peugeots, the Formula 2 Renault Megans were setting some impressive times. Claude Balaisi was 10th at the end of the day. 9th was Schwartz, by now 4-wheel driven once again. 8th was the Renault of Serge Jourdain, who'd struggled with brake problems all day. Uwe Nittel's Mitsubishi was 7th, just a place away from a point-scoring position. 6th place was held by Philippe Bugalski's Megane. Rumours were circulating in Corsica that this might be Piero Liati's last appearance in this year's World Championship. He was 5th, but seemed to have lost interest. After either setting or sharing fastest time on 4 of the day's 6 stages, Colin McRae was 4th. Third was Panizzi, like McRae cursing his tyre choice on stage 7, but his recovery was well underway. Ford were reaping the rewards of their development work after Catalunya. Carlos Sainz ended the day sharing the lead. The driver on exactly the same time as Sainz was the fiery Frenchman Francois Delacour. On dry or wet tarmac, it had been another terrific drive from Delacour, and at the day's final service area, it was obvious who was the more confident about what the third leg would hold.
Well, I think the rally is still very open, Panizzi is 9 seconds, Colin is also coming very quick, it's only 19 seconds, so it is easy to be first or to be 4th. It is not a big difference. The weather and the tyre choice will be very important.
How does it feel to be absolutely level with Carlos Sainz going into the final day?
It's not a problem for me. Carlos Sainz is not the big chief. I don't know him. It's not. I am Francois Delacour. It's Carlos Sainz. It's no problem for me.
The top 4 were now separated by just 19 seconds, with a subdued Liati heading the chasing pack, too far behind to influence the result. The third and final leg consisted of 6 more stages to the south of Ajaccio. A little over 140 kilometres would decide the rally. Like the first day, the morning was dry and fine. Delacour immediately served notice of his intentions by setting the fastest time on the first stage. He moved back into the lead, but the 1 second advantage would be short-lived. Panizzi set the quickest time on the day's second stage, closing the gap on his teammate to 5 seconds. Thoughts were already beginning to turn to the thrilling climax to the rally, which was now almost inevitable. Sainz, meanwhile, had edged past Delacour and once again led the rally. Ford's first victory of the year was almost within reach, and he wasn't giving up.
A fondo, derecha rápidamente, menos larga, se cierra, fin, dos. Derecha calenta corta, se cierra con C, Sasar.
On stage 15, the day's third, McRae set the fastest time, 14 seconds up on Panizzi and an unbelievable 19 quicker than Delacour. No longer were the Peugeots allowed to dictate the pace. Starting the stage fourth, McRae ended it in second place, while Delacour and Panizzi now shared third. 3 more stages remained.
Still is a lot of kilometers. We have the last stage also very long, and you know, it's tire choice will be very important if the weather is becoming a little bit crazy.
We have to take the gamble whether we take the softer tyre for the performance or we go with the harder tyre and lose performance. You know, it's guaranteed we lose performance with the hard tyre. It's just a question of whether the soft tyre will work.
I don't know how much it is up to you, but if it were up to you, what would you want to do now?
I think we take the softer tyre and we go for the performance.
Stage 16 saw Sainz set the slowest time of the 4. It might not have been much, but the time loss was such that first to fourth was now spanned by just 15 seconds. McRae shared fastest time on the stage with Panizzi. With just 2 stages remaining, Corsica now looked set to eclipse Catalunya for excitement. Stage 17, and over this kilometre there's almost nothing to separate McRae and Sainz. After stage 17, second place was shared by McRae and Panizzi, now both 7 seconds behind Sainz. So the final 34 kilometres of serpentine Corsican roads would provide the decider.
One stage to go, the lead is not so great. Can you still win?
We will see. I think the tyres will make the difference, to be honest.
Carlos says it's all about tyres now.
Yeah, it looks like it. We've got people all over the place in the stage now just giving us weather reports, so it's just down to picking the right tyre.
There was no shortage of advice on choosing tyres for the final stage. This time there could be no mistake. Sainz made his decision, immediately copied by the Subaru team. Carlos flew through the stage, taking 34 seconds off Delacour and effectively ending half the Peugeot challenge. Panizzi lost 23 seconds. His fortunes literally turned around on the stage. Now the only driver who could catch Sainz was McRae.
50, 6 left over crest, opens, 70. Crest and 4 right plus, tightens. And 5 left minus, tightens. Into 6 right tightens, the 5 right plus line. And 5 left plus. 50, 6 left, 50, 3 right plus, and opens. Into 4 left plus, opens, 50, 4 right minus, and 4 right tightens, don't cut, and 6 left minus, 50, 3 left plus line, and opens to 6 left, and right into 5 left line, into 4 right plus, and long 6 left minus line, 100.
Needing to take 8 seconds off Sainz, McRae seemed to get faster as the stage went on.
6 left, 70. 4 left minus slippy, opens maybe. 100. Care, 5 left plus, tightens, don't cut. 50. Okay, 25 or 26.
How's it going? I think it was quite a good result.
Not only had Colin taken the 8 seconds he needed, but another 7 seconds as well. The partnership with Nicky Grist, and his forthcoming marriage perhaps, means that McRae is now driving with a maturity many thought they'd never see. McRae's winning margin was 8 seconds from a stunned Carlos Sainz. Ford were no doubt encouraged by the performance, but victory still eludes them. The Peugeots were 3rd and 4th, while Liati possibly bows out with a 5th place. No points from Corsica for Makinen, but he still leads the drivers' table. McRae's now just 2 points behind, with Sainz and Liati tied for 3rd place and Schwartz 5th. In the championship for manufacturers, Subaru have extended their lead over Mitsubishi to 18 points, with Ford still 3rd on 29 points.